good, everybody? Thank you all so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. Listen, we are here today to talk about some hot topics down at Bravo, okay? Listen, before we get started, I'm just getting in from the gym. I know a lot of y'all are asleep. I'm going to have to start doing pre-recordings because it's be so much for me to talk about, and then I have to, it just be so much for me to talk about, and it's just, when I get ready to go live, I feel like I'll be gone. If I really want to talk about everything I want to talk about, I'll be live for like 4 hours. And I can't do that every day, okay? So first I wanted to talk about this trip with Real Housewives of Atlanta, okay? I'm assuming that this last episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta was their last day being in Scotland for the cast trip, okay? So what happened is what we see all the time. Earlier before this, well, not earlier, but before the season started, somebody wrote on Twitter, and I have it pulled up on the screen, somebody named Yolanda Pfister, whatever their name is, but it looked like a man. So I don't know, he could be trans, I don't know what it is, okay? He wrote, Pound RHOA exclusive Scotland trip tea. The girls filmed at the Alchemist, a cocktail bar in Edinburgh, where a fight erupted and the cast had to be separated. It delayed filming by 2+ hours. Then they all arrived at Coho Bar to resolve said fight. Somebody wrote who was fighting. The person wrote, Shamia was the only one I didn't see enter the bar for the resolve. Somebody wrote, oop. So then somebody wrote, they posted this, and then they wrote, last night episode or RHOA was so heavily edited. What happened to Shamia and Porsha almost getting into a physical altercation? I had read a tweet in October of 2025 where an eyewitness posted it on X. Why not allow the audience the full story? Who is production protecting? And this is the stuff that really irks my nerves, right? It really irks my nerves because, first of all, you're saying that this show is so heavily edited as if we're watching the episode live. Whatever we see on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, it is going to be edited because we're not watching it live. The only thing that we might see live on Bravo is Watch What Happens Live. But since Andy had those kids, we don't really see anything live anymore. Okay, so the episode is going to be edited anyway. And just because somebody says that they have exclusive tea and they've seen something in Scotland doesn't make it true. And what happens is, you know, it's one thing to see something, but unless it was a reliable source, unless you heard somebody from the cast say that there was a physical altercation or somebody was almost getting into a physical altercation, you can't believe it to be true. You shouldn't believe it to be true, right? And this is what happens all the time. You'll have one person say something and everybody else will follow behind what this person is saying as if this is a fact. That's not a fact. I could see if they had a video that upload, you know what I'm saying, to upload with what they were saying. But we know that there are a whole bunch of clout chasers out there all the time. I remember when Candiace and Monique had a fight. I remember before the fight actually showed, I remember there was some video of people showing the fight where Candiace and Monique had the fight, or at least the fight being broke up. And we know it was actually some people showing some of the fight. I actually saw that before. But we did not see who threw the wine first, right? We never saw that, but we did see that there was actually a physical altercation that took place. And Bravo tried to cover it as much as they did, but it had got out. Monique had kind of confirmed that there was an altercation. There was no confirmation that Porsha and Shamia got into a physical altercation. And I think that people are trying to say who is Bravo protecting, who is the producers protecting, and they're automatically thinking that it's going to be Porsha.
Who had been saying that? Who said that? Who said that?
It's going to be Porsha, that Porsha is being protected. I highly doubt that there was a fight and Shamia sat on Watch What Happens Live and didn't say anything about it. It just gets on my nerves because everybody always thinks that because somebody has a little tea, it's the truth. You have people that do deep dives and, oh, this person had this on that day, and so this thing was edited and everybody is running. And what kills me is I like to judge, or when I talk about the show, I like to talk about what actually happened on the show. Because when we talk about stuff that's not happening on the show and we add other things in, you could never really win, or we could never come to a resolve. Once everybody always want to bring up behind the scenes. And that's some of the times reason why I don't like to drop the link, because if we can't come to a resolve, if we can't come to a resolve, there's no need to, you get what I'm saying? Because everybody always got some exclusive behind the scene tea. And the truth of the matter is the tea don't be shit.
She ain't talking about that.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
She ain't talking about that. She ain't talking about that.
I am talking about something.
So Carlos King is who people really trust. I trust Carlos King and some of the things that he says. And Carlos King confirmed on, what is the name of that show? TGIF? Oh, no, not TGIF. I don't know what it is. It's Claudia Jordan with two different. Okay, let me be quiet. Okay, it's Claudia Jordan. What is the name of the show? Monday Night Live? I don't know. Carlos King kind of confirmed that there was not a fight that took place, so we could just dead that rumor. We could just dead that rumor. But again, the people who don't like Porsha are going to swear up and down that there was a fight that took place and Bravo is protecting Porsha. It didn't happen, baby. It didn't happen. Okay? What else did I see? K.Michelle, baby, when I tell you, it's so funny to see K.Michelle in this way because it was all good when it was Porsha, right? Everything was good when it was K.Michelle was doing what she was doing to Porsha, but now she's doing it to Shamia, and now everybody is tired of K.Michelle.
Wow. That I sat on that bus because that's not.
That's what I say. That's the beauty of coming down here and reviewing the show. You have to be consistent. It can't be one way for Porsha and everybody went up for K.Michelle antics when it was against Porsha, but now it's against Shamia. It's, oh, she doing too much now. She doing too much. Just because y'all like Shamia, baby, Shamia is a loser. Shamia is a loser. And I've been seeing through K.Michelle since she first joined the show. So this past Sunday, Shamia was on Watch What Happens Live, and Andy, you know, they get to playing games or whatever. I watched the episode, but I forget exactly what happened. But Andy ended up having all of the women on the screen, and he ended up asking, you know, saying how each of the women could be a better friend. And she ended up saying something about K.Michelle, how she could be a better friend, and they ended up talking about why K.Michelle unfollowed, why Shamia unfollowed K.Michelle. Shamia said that she unfollowed K.Michelle because K.Michelle unfollowed her. And that was pretty much what I got for it. It wasn't anything too deep, right? K.Michelle, get to Twitter. And again, I'm never going to let y'all forget. I'm never going to let Bravo forget, because most of the action that we have seen from K.Michelle this season has been on her on Twitter. Most of the action that we have seen from K.Michelle this season has been her on Twitter. But when it was Candiace on Twitter, she was a disaster, right? And I don't like shit like that. If you're going to have rules, it's going to be rules for everybody. But we are hyping up K.Michelle on Twitter, but we're going to punish and fine Candiace for it. But we're going to punish and fine Lisa Rinna for it, okay? K.Michelle has none of this energy that she got online in the scene. It's punk puss. It's punk puss. You can say whatever you want to say about it. It's punk puss, okay?
Only weak bitches do that.
Okay, K.Michelle wrote, and she added Shamia. Okay, I don't ever remember her adding Porsha. She already said that Porsha will whoop her ass. You get what I'm saying? So there is a difference in the way. I don't ever remember K.Michelle adding Porsha. Now that I think about it, but she is adding Shamia, and so this lends itself to what I believe it was Dustin. Shout out to Dustin. It lends itself to what Dustin was saying about how K.Michelle doesn't mind disrespecting Shamia, because she doesn't have really respect for her. And, you know, she will talk about Shamia mama, but she always is saying Porsha don't play about her mama, so she would never say nothing about, you know what I'm saying? It's punk puss. The girls pick and choose. The girls pick and choose, okay? Anyway, she added Shamia. She wrote, at Shamia, don't play coward games now. You ain't gonna shift the narrative on me. Your third time trying and speaking on me. You scared about what I might tell? Tell them why I don't mess with you. Does the Wardolph ring a bell? I'm loyal until I'm not. See, you can't play fake victim with me. I know too much chill. K.Michelle, shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up. You always doing this little threatening game. Don't play coward games. You a coward. You came down here and you added Shamia and you didn't say what you needed to say. This is the third time you trying to speak on me. You spoke on her first. You spoke on her and her mama. You scared I what might tell them why I don't mess with you. Why don't you tell us why you don't mess with her? Nobody would be able to tell us why you don't mess with Shamia more than you will be able to, because you're the one who stopped messing with her. So why don't you tell us why you don't mess with Shamia? Because all she will be doing is guessing. She can't get in your head and figure out why you don't mess with her. She can't do it. You're the only one that's able to do it. So why don't you tell us? You came down here and had Twitter fingers.
Stupid bitch.
Does the word off ring a bell? I'm loyal to my see you can't play fake victim with me. Okay? Then she wrote, definitely don't need no advice from you on being a friend. Me not messing with you has nothing to do with jumping ship. And you know this. I have the same friends I've had all season. The difference now is that I don't have to sit around and defend you all day. Dead the narrative now about teams because you know that's not what happened. What's happening. Watch what happens live at Shamia Morton. Reunion needs to hurry up. The reunion was already filmed, mama. And I'm pretty sure you know that because you was there. The reunion was already filmed. From what I remember on Watch What Happens Live, I could be wrong, but I don't remember Shamia even insinuating that K.Michelle was jumping ship. But what happened was this season, whenever anybody had anything to say about Shamia, they was automatically Porsha's lapdog. They was automatically Porsha's lapdog. And it was because Shamia is competing with Porsha and she sees anybody who's not on her side is Team Porsha. And that's not the truth. They just not fucking with Shamia. Why would Drew, but if I want to say that anybody is a lapdog for Porsha, I would say Drew.
I'm sorry. I have to be honest about it.
I don't see it with Angela. I don't. If she don't fuck with Shamia and she's cordial with Porsha, I mean, I haven't seen her over there just kissing Porsha ass the way that people are trying to make it seem. Okay? But now, since we're going to keep that trend up, since Pinky is being honest about Shamia, I wonder, is Pinky joining ship? Is she jumping ship now? Is she now Team Porsha? Is she a lapdog for Porsha? And the same thing goes for K.Michelle. The same thing goes for K.Michelle. Again, I haven't seen them talk about that on the show. I mean, on Watch What Happens Live, but that is what is going on Twitter. Since you're not over here with Shamia now, are you now Team Porsha? The truth of the matter is, I don't think that K.Michelle and Shamia, again, I said this at the beginning of the season, I believe that K.Michelle came on this show and she wanted to go against Porsha because she's seen Porsha as the queen bee and she wanted to be seen as a person that wasn't going to fall in line. She even said it in her tagline, I'm coming over here and I'm going to make this my show. And so she tried to make her own team. And what was going to happen was it wasn't going to be K.Michelle and Shamia. They both were going to be fighting. I see it as both K.Michelle and Shamia. The problem with K.Michelle and Shamia, in my opinion, from what I see on the show, is that both of them wanted to be the leader of the pack against Porsha.
Yes, baby.
They both wanted to go directly against Porsha, and they didn't know who was going to be the leader of the team. And I feel like that's why they beefing now. K.Michelle thought that Shamia was going to fall in line behind her. And Shamia was like, oh, no, baby. I want to be the direct competition from Porsha. And that's why they beefing. They didn't have no friendship like that. They just both didn't like Porsha. Simple. They just both didn't like Porsha. They didn't have a friendship like that. It never was. That's not what it was. That's not what it was. Shamia can do some wrong. Shamia has done some wrong this season. She has done some wrong. K.Michelle, you punk puss. K.Michelle, you punk puss. You gonna get down here. You always want to threaten stuff. And you talking about you scared out what might tell. You scared out what might tell. Girl, you can't possibly know more about Shamia. You probably could tell something that has something to do with Porsha or something that happened this season. But you can't possibly just be having this tea to spill on Shamia that Porsha don't got to tell. You want to make yourself seem important and you really ain't. I just don't think that K.Michelle was I thought she did good this season with her personal storyline, but as far as interacting with the girls, I don't think that she did it. She never has nothing to say in the moment. And I will give her that it was probably different and she was trying to worry about how she was seen on the show, right? Because everybody expect from her coming from Love and Hip Hop, everybody expected her to be this ghetto hood booger, right? And so she wanted to watch the way she moved. But girl, halfway doing the girls over here was moving the same way. So you should have just did what you was gonna do. These girls are talking about mamas fucking. They ain't trying to fuck their daddies and shit. They talking about fucking each other's husbands, fucking with married men. Move the way that you want to move. And I could understand that at the first half of the season, second half of the season, girl, fuck all that. Fuck all that. But K.Michelle is punk puss. K.Michelle is punk puss. Okay? I'm through with it. I'm through with it. I listen again. Me just looking on and people watching again. I don't think that K.Michelle and Shamia had this great friendship. I really believe deep in my heart that both of these girls, they bonded over not liking Porsha, and the issue between them came that they wasn't going to follow each other. The only interest that they had is that they didn't like Porsha, and there was going to be another team, but neither one of them was going to follow each other, and that's the issue. Okay. What else did I see? Oh, I actually saw the Real Housewives of New York City trailer. Let me see if I can pull it up. Well, I won't be able to show the trailer, but I will be able to show the new cast photo. Okay. I'm going to be watching. You know, it looked like it's going to be a good season. It looked like it's going to be a good season. And you know, baby, what I love to see is money, baby.
Yeah. Got money. Yeah.
All right. I love to see money. It looked like the girls are spending money. The only girls that I know is the, what is her name? Gizelle. The girl who, where is she standing in this picture? Is she standing in the middle? Let me pull the picture up. I can't think of her name because I watched a little bit of the show. Okay, so I know Gizelle and the two girls over to the left. Those are the only two girls I know. I believe that the girl, this one right here, her name is Sia. I know these two girls right here, and I know Gizelle. Okay, but the reunion looked like the girls are spending money, and so you know that's really all I want to see is the girls spend money. You know, they put the show on pause and then they're starting anew, and we have more new girls than we have girls that have previously been on the show or the show when they did the revamp of the Real Housewives of New York City. And so, you know, I want to come in and start reviewing the episode and watching the show from here on out and try not to pay attention to what happened before, because as you guys know, when I watch a show and y'all watch a show, sometimes we see two different things. Sometimes we see two different things, and I'm standing on what I've seen.
I stand on
I'm standing on
period.
it.
I'm
Okay.
standing and I still stand.
I'm standing on what I've seen, okay? And so I can't really take some of y'all serious when we talk about something that happened in the past, because it got people still running around here saying that Porsha wasn't with no married man. And I know we saw that with our own eyes. People that didn't even watch the show know that Porsha was sleeping with a married man, baby. Y'all would try to, you know how y'all do or whatever. So, you know, I'm very interested in watching the Real Housewives of New York City. I'm really thinking about maybe moving to New York. I'm kind of thinking about it. I'm trying to, you know, play it out in my head and make sure everything is right. I am a person who feel like I can survive anywhere, and so I'm looking to move, and New York is on the list. So we'll see. Okay, but you know, I'm really interested in seeing the Real House of Salt Lake City again. I mean, not Salt Lake City, New York. They are spending money, and I love to see it. Okay, what else did I see? Reasonably Shady. So they ended up making a news cycle lately. Let me pull it up. They ended up making a news cycle lately, okay? And I didn't watch the whole episode of Reasonably Shady, but I ended up listening to two clips that I wanted to talk about, okay? Gizelle was talking about she's seen an old episode of Basketball Wives that Malaysia was on there. And she said that she think that Basketball Wives will still be on air if they kept the same cast. And they talked about how they kept on changing girls in and out, her and Robyn, because this is on Reasonably Shady, how they kept on changing girls in and out. And they really did do that over on Basketball Wives. And so they said it was hard to find a dynamic new women, and Real Housewives of Potomac hasn't found it either. Y'all haven't found that with a lot of girls on Potomac, but y'all have found it with one baby. And that one person is Stacey. That one person is Stacey. She found her footing with the group. I think that Mia actually found her footing with the group too, Gizelle, but we know that she went behind the scenes and got Mia fired. Mia's last season on the show, baby, she was wrapping you girls up.
The weight of the 8 citations.
She was wrapping you girls up. And she especially wrapped Gizelle up. And you wanted her gone because she came for your daughters in a chastity belt. Mia told you that you was raising 3 whores, that you was running a whorehouse, that when you went out of town, your daughter was running niggas in and out the house. And you like to talk about everything else, but you don't like to talk about your real reality on camera. That's what she told you. And Gizelle, you punk puss because you didn't do nothing to her. You didn't say nothing to her. You had Ashley trying to fight your battle. You wanted the girls to fight your battle. You didn't do nothing. Don't nobody give a damn about Gizelle giving nobody the cold shoulder. Who gives a fuck about that? But you have to go behind the scenes and you have to get her off the show. But yes, the mean girl shit that you do, it don't work on Stacey. It don't work on Stacey. It's not working. You've done everything that you can to try to break that girl. Y'all have done everything y'all can to try to break that girl. Even Andy, he probably didn't see it in the moment, but I'm never gonna let on. They had a game talking about Stacey's breath being nasty and hot.
That's up.
You did everything that y'all could. Stacey made the Vanity Fair top reality star performances. She made it, and neither one of y'all have made it before. 10 seasons in, and Stacey making her second season in. Okay? Another clip that went viral with Reasonably Shady, okay? It says, shout out to All True T. It says, Robyn and Gizelle asked if they were willing to have an off-camera conversation with someone from their show they had drama with, okay? Robyn said yes, and Gizelle said no. And Gizelle said no because production wouldn't be there. And I thought about it, and I thought, that Gizelle
is a nasty bitch.
A nasty bitch. But the truth of the matter is, it's not because production wouldn't be there. It was because security wasn't going to be there. It was because security wouldn't be there. See, Gizelle acts this way on camera, and I used to like Gizelle, but this last season of Real Housewives of NYC, there was nothing to like about her.
Nothing was fair.
There was nothing really to like about her because in my head, there is no way that you can go up for Porsha, but Mia is every hoe in the book. It don't make sense, right? Y'all don't like Mia because she a hoe, but what is Porsha? And it's no shade, but what is Porsha, right? You go up for Porsha because Porsha is an OG and she's been on the show longer, but see, the girls don't have respect for the girls that come on the show after them. They have respect for girls who have been on the show before them. But Gizelle, I really do believe that Gizelle acts a certain way with these girls on camera because production is there and security is there. But in her everyday life, she would not treat these girls the way that she do or go as far as with them as she do because she knows that her ass will be whooped. And she's not the only one. I believe that a lot of girls operate like that. They only operate the way that they operate because there's cameras around and they think that they won't get their ass whooped. But sometimes you got a wild card like Porsha. Sometimes you got a wild card like Monique. You get what I'm saying? Where your ass could very well, I'm not going to say whoop because we ain't never seen any of them whoop nobody ass.
Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that.
Right? But you could be in a fight, in a physical altercation. Some of these girls act the way that they act because they know that they're making a show and it's supposed to be entertainment and the rules are supposed to be no hands, which is why Gizelle was so upset when it was Monique because she could have got her ass whooped. And that's what Gizelle is really scared of. Robyn, I felt like Robyn was trying to say, Robyn basically said that any girl that she ever had beef with on the show, she would be willing to have a conversation with them. But I really felt like that she really wanted to say that she wanted to have a conversation with Candiace. I felt like that she really wanted to say that she would have a conversation with Candiace off air. Who else has Robyn had a problem with? She had a problem with Wendy. There's no mistake that, her and Wendy don't see it for each other, right? But I believe that she was basically talking about Candiace. Yeah. She was talking about Candiace. Okay. Now, what else did I see? I also saw this clip of Candiace. Okay. Candiace, oh my God. Candiace is running around. She was on a podcast and she talked about having gender disappointment. So she talked about when she did her gender reveal, she actually went upstairs after she, she acted like she was happy in front of her husband and her best friend. And then she went upstairs and she cried because she always wanted to have a daughter first. And I kind of understand what she meant. But I personally, and I feel like that with this new, this new era, I understand wanting to have, whatever type of, whatever gender you want as your first child, right? You think that you want to have this specific gender as your child first, and it doesn't happen, right? However, I think with this new day and age, we get online complaining about stuff and we want to make everything normal. In my opinion, I would have rather, I just wouldn't want my children to feel sad about anything. So I don't think that this was a conversation that was meant for the world, or a conversation that was meant until my child was old enough to understand, because I don't want them to stumble on this at one point in life. I seen a clip of Just Hilarious on B. Simone's podcast, and she said that she didn't want to be a mother after she had her son until her son was like 6 months, right? And she wrote that in her book, and she said that before she published that book, she wanted to have a conversation with her son about that. Before, her son is 13 now, she wanted to have a conversation with her son about that now, because she didn't want him to hear from anybody else except for him, right? I think that nowadays we are in, I feel like a lot of people are just so whiny about every little thing, and they just want to be, I had gender disappointment. What the fuck is gender disappointment? What the fuck is gender? And we need to make this normal. It doesn't need to be normal. Your baby got all his fingers and toes. You get what I'm saying? That should have been something that been between you and your household, you and your husband, and that's it. You and your husband, and that's it. You should have been over that shit by the time that baby got here. Before the baby got here, to be honest with you. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? And then it's out on the internet before you're able to, what age is your child going to be able to understand what you're saying? And are you sure that he's not going to see this interview or see this before he's able to have this conversation with you? Again, I understand, but I'm worried about the child and how he feel, him being here with a penis upset mommy, and him probably trying to turn this up into a girl to make mommy happy. You got to worry about all of those things. Okay? But y'all, that's all I got. I just want to come down here real quick to talk about a couple of things. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, y'all. Again, thank y'all so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate the love and support. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hype the video up. Please, please. Thank you all so much for being here again, y'all. I really appreciate the love and support, and I will see y'all later. Adios.